This is the 2021 Acura RDX. The third generation RDX launched in 2019 hasn't changed much except for this quite orange PMC edition. And we'll go through all those details in a minute, but you gotta know that the RDX competes in an incredibly competitive and mature segment. Does the RDX have what it takes? Let's find out. The Acura RDX has been around since 2007, and there's no sign that it's going anywhere anytime soon. The reason is consumers cannot get enough of these kind of compact, kind of luxurious, kind of sporty SUVs. Like I said, it's the PMC edition, Performance Manufacturing Center. That's in Ohio. It's famous because that's where they hand build the NSX supercar. Guess what? All 360 of these, and yes, they're only making 360 PMC edition RDXs, are also hand assembled at PMC. The PMC edition RDX represents a really good value because you get essentially every option available on the RDX for just over $50,000. As far as design goes, the RDX is no shrinking violet. Acura wants you to notice it, and they want you to know it's an Acura. Gone is the unloved beak grille. It's been replaced by this busy diamond pattern grille, which I think looks pretty good. But speaking of busy, it's nowhere near as busy as these headlights. From the side, they've done some cool things to break it up, right? So one of the problems is you have tons of metal. We call it visual mass. So there's this cool kind of convoluted sill here, convoluted in a good way, which breaks up all the mass on the side. Great line work flowing down the car, and it gives it stance coming all the way to the taillight. Taillight's okay, but overall, I think this is a very good looking SUV. I'm inside the Acura RDX PMC edition, and because it's a special edition, and you can see there's a numbered plaque right here, number 21 out of 360, it's quite nice. Really cool looking leather. It's gray with some Alcantara and suede inserts. There's orange contrast stitching. Acura uses really good material. They source their leather well. One thing they're making a big deal about in this car is the stereo system, because you have these roof-mounted speakers and you can actually control the volume of the roof separately from the other speakers. It's incredibly crystal clear sounding. You can really hear the separation between the instruments. If there's one bad thing about the inside of the RDX, and there is one bad thing, it's this trackpad. While it sort of works, it's not great. It could all be solved with a touchscreen, which the RDX doesn't have. As far as space behind the driver goes, it's a pretty roomy rear seat, and if you fold the seats down, there's plenty of cargo space in this SUV. Performance. Well, obviously, anything built at the Performance Manufacturing Center is gonna light the world on fire, right? Not exactly. For various reasons, the industry has settled on small 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engines for vehicles like this, but you can get some decent power out of them. This motor is actually derived from the Honda Civic Type R, although it does make less power. 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque. All that is fed through a 10-speed automatic transmission. The base car is front-wheel drive only. This one is super handling all-wheel drive, and that really does help performance. The RDX with super handling all-wheel drive is more agile than you think it would be. It drives better than you think it would be. Fuel economy is pretty good. 21 miles per gallon city, 26 miles per gallon on the highway. 0 to 60, 6.4 seconds. As far as safety goes, the Acura RDX is incredibly safe. It's got a 5-star crash rating, and the Insurance Institute says it's a top safety pick plus. It comes with a ton of standard active safety features. So how much? Well, at the beginning I mentioned that the PMC edition RDX is a good value because you get so many optional extras thrown in for a relatively low price. But the actual base price is, well, it's kind of cheap. $39,000, just a little bit over $39,000. If you look at the competition, right, the Germans are much more. The Audi, Mercedes, the BMW, they're all gonna be $44,000, $45,000 to start. And then there's this car, resplendent in its orange paint, the PMC Edition RDX. It is just under $53,000. Still a good deal for what you get. At the end of the day, I like the way it looks. I like how the interior looks and feels. With the super handling all-wheel drive, the RDX performs much better than it needs to, and no matter which way you slice it, it's a really good value. So come on, Acura, give it another 200 horsepower. Make me happy. To check out the latest rankings, go to motortrend.com/cars.